right, my friends, it's now time for the Soulful Psalms segment of Beacon of Truth. This is where we take one of the Psalms from the wisdom literature of the Old Testament that we hear in each and every holy sacrifice of the Mass, and we connect that Psalm to your everyday lived experience. And today, we're going to take a look at Psalm number 3. And interestingly enough, we've never looked at this Psalm before. I mean, by this time, going through the Psalms for a year and a half, you would think that we at least did part of every Psalm, but there's still a couple of Psalms that we haven't even started looking at yet, and this is one of them. Psalm number 3. So we're going to take a quick look at a couple of the verses here. The prescript or superscript of this Psalm is the entire first verse. It says, well, in English, a Psalm of David as he is fleeing from his son Absalom. So you remember that toward the end of David's life, he has a number of different sons, and Absalom tries to worm his way into taking the throne. His mother actually tries to manipulate the system in order to make Absalom the ruler. So Absalom establishes himself as the king, although we know that actually David appoints Solomon as the king. But it gets to a point where David has to flee from his own son Absalom, and then we know, of course, in First Kings that Absalom is eventually killed, and David is mourning deeply. I mean, he truly loved his son Absalom. So David wrote this psalm as he was fleeing from his own son. Verse 2 says, "How many are my foes, O Lord? How many are rising up against me? How many are saying about me, there is no help for him in God?" Man, it's just like our secular culture. You know, when we try to stand firm and stand strong for our faith, we try to defend the teachings, the truth and the beauty of our Catholic faith. You know, we have people that are against us. We have people that still try to tell us that a child in the womb is a blob of tissue, that we worship a piece of bread, that we have to go to some man in order to have our sins forgiven. All you got to do is pray straight to Jesus, and all these different type of things. We talk about actual social justice, where it's love God, living out the two greatest commandments: love God and love your neighbor as yourself. And the foundation of all social justice is a culture of life. All those kinds of things. I mean, we get into these myopic battles and we feel like this. I mean, I love the way David in these Psalms, he just like opens up his heart and his emotions. Lord, there's so many people against me right now. Gosh, I felt like that a number of times when you're not afraid to live your Catholic faith with passion and conviction, you get criticized just because, and people don't even know you. They just, like, I wear my crucifix and miraculous medal all the time when I travel. And so people will see that and they'll either say something really nice or they'll say something really ugly. And you just have to wonder when somebody, they talk about tolerance, but yet they only tolerate people who agree with them. Well, guess what? That's not tolerance, that's agreement. And so sometimes it gets, let's be real, it gets frustrating. It hurts sometimes, but that's okay. David felt the same way, and this is the guy who's the greatest king in the history of Israel. So David cries out to the Lord, recognizing the fact that ultimately his help is going to come from the Lord who made heaven and earth. And that should be something that gives us consolation as well. That no matter what is going on around us, it is the Lord who will come to our aid and give us our help. And if we don't get support from the culture, that's okay, because the Lord is our strength and our love and our support in times of trials and difficulties. That's awesome. Well, today, my friends, I have the great pleasure of reintroducing to you one of my good friends, a man I have tremendous respect for, not only for his incredible and keen intellect, but also because of his love and passion for our one holy Catholic and Apostolic faith.
For more on the Psalms with Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers, check out Beacon of Truth weekdays at 4 p.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio and streaming everywhere you listen to podcasts.